Signing your first web design client using Claude is a lot more straightforward than most people actually make it out to be. And the reason most beginners struggle isn't because that they lack skill. No, it's because they're leading with the wrong thing. Cold messages, portfolios, promises. Business owners don't care about any of that. What actually gets a response though is showing up with something they can already see and click through and picture on their own website. So here's the strategy. You find a local business with a weak website, of course. You build them a custom sample page using Claude, you publish it, and then you use that live link as your outreach hook. No pitch decks, no "I'd love to hop on a call." Just a real page with their logo, their services, their reviews, and a working contact form already built. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through that entire process, from finding the right businesses, to building the sample site, to sending the outreach message, to handling the sales conversation, delivering the final site, and then turning that one project into a monthly retainer. You don't need to build an agency overnight, no. You just need to land one client, get proof, and then build a system that you can repeat. Let's get into this. Now, if you want to master AI tools and you really do want to learn how to build profitable SaaS apps and websites, AI agents, and mobile apps with AI, of course, I've created a complete masterclass that shows you exactly how to do all of this step by step. My masterclass normally costs $499 to join, but since you are taking the time to watch this video, thank you very much. You can join completely free. Just check out that link in the description below to get free access to my masterclass, and you too can start building your own AI-powered business today. And with that said, let's start. So the first thing that we need to do inside of Base 44 is make sure that Claude is selected as the active model. Now this step is easy to miss, I know, but it matters because the model that you use affects how the website gets built. The layout, the text sizing, the spacing, section structure, and the form logic all depend on the engine processing your prompt. So it is worth checking this first. So go to this website right there on your screen. It's app.base44.com, and then look at the bottom left corner of the main prompt input panel here. And you should see the settings icon there. Click it to open up the configuration panel, where here you can now manage the active model for your workspace. Now inside that panel, open up the model selection drop-down menu, scroll through the available options, and choose Opus 4.8. Selecting Opus 4.8 gives us access to Claude's flagship model, aside from Fable, which is built for more advanced reasoning, longer tasks, and professional software engineering work. And once you have selected it, look back at the small icon in the bottom left corner again, and the settings icon should now change into an orange asterisk style icon, which represents Claude. So let's make sure to always check this before pressing the execution button so that we know for sure that our prompt is being processed by the right model. So for client-ready website work, Claude is a very strong choice here because it handles database logic well, it keeps page elements scaling properly, and it helps maintain stable navigation across the whole site. It also tends to follow visual boundaries more consistently, so the first version of your website already looks pretty clean, organized, and professional. When you are just getting started, you don't want to waste time building sample sites for random businesses that just were never likely to pay in the first place, right? You want to focus on local service businesses that are already active, that are already getting customers coming in, but clearly have problems with their online presence. And maybe their website looks, really outdated. Maybe it barely even works on mobile phones. Maybe important sections are missing, or maybe they just don't have a proper website at all. Who knows? So those are the businesses where a better site can really make an obvious difference. Local businesses are usually the best first clients for beginners because, well, the decision-making process is simple. If you reach out to a roofer, a plumber, HVAC company, a land surveyor, salon, or similar service business, then there is a pretty good chance you can get close to the actual owner without having to go through all those layers of managers or corporate approvals. And their website also has a direct impact on phone calls, bookings, and inquiries. So if their site is hurting that process, then they have a really good reason to care. So as you look for targets, pay attention to the obvious signs of a weak website. And some sites still look like they were built years ago with cramped layouts, low contrast text, and old design choices. Others just break on mobile phones where the text gets like cut off, buttons are hard to even tap, or visitors just have to pinch and zoom just to read anything. So some businesses have no clear contact form at all, no click to call button, or no strong section explaining their services. How odd. So in other cases, they may not even have a website at all and are only using, say, a Facebook page, a directory listing, or basic business profile. So the easiest place to start really is Google Maps. Search for local service terms like roofing contractors, Chicago, or dentists, Orlando. Then look through the results and then open up the websites attached to each business. A useful range to check is businesses with around, say, 3.5 to 4.5 stars, because they are active enough to have customers, but still may have room to improve their online presence. If their website is broken, outdated, slow, or missing completely, then add them to your prospect list. Yelp is another good place to search, especially if you do go beyond the first page. Look through pages 2, 3, 4 for local categories, then check both the regular listings and the sidebar advertisers. If a business is paying for visibility, but then sending people to a bad website, then that can be a very strong sign they already understand marketing, but they also need a better page to convert that traffic. Facebook pages can also help you find local businesses that are active but don't have a proper website. So join local community groups, business directories, town forums, or regional marketplace pages. Then look for the contractors and small business owners posting their phone numbers, their services, and their recent work. And if they are active on Facebook but linking to a dead domain, an outdated site, or no standalone landing page at all, then they also could be a good target. The key is making sure the business looks healthy enough to pay. Before building anything for them, check whether they have recent reviews from, say, the last 30 days, that they have active social media posts, a real storefront, branded work vehicles maybe, local ads, or any other sign that the business is still operating and getting customers. You're looking for businesses with real activity, not abandoned listings. So to keep your pipeline moving along, build a simple spreadsheet with 15 to 20 qualified local business leads before you start outreach. Now, this keeps you from getting stuck on one prospect, and it gives you enough volume to stay consistent. And once you do have that list, then you can also start building sample sites with a lot more confidence, because then every target has already been filtered for real potential. So now this is the part that makes this whole strategy work out, because most beginners reach out to business owners, right, with a message asking if they need a new website. But that kind of just puts all the pressure on the owner to imagine what you can do. A stronger approach is to just show them a real sample first. So when they can click a live version of their improved website and then see their own logo and services and reviews and contact details already built into it, then the conversation starts from a much better place for you and for them. So for this example, we're going to use a local roofing business, and we don't need to spend hours researching them. Just spend around maybe 5 minutes gathering the basic information from their already existing website and or social media pages. Save their main logo, take note of their brand colors, copy their main business phone number, and maybe pull 2 or 3 real 5-star customer reviews. So these details are enough to make the sample site look personal and believable instead of just generic. The goal here is not to build a massive full website, not yet. We're creating a strong one-page landing page that instantly shows improvement. It should have a premium hero section up top, a clear headline text, strong call to action buttons, a clean service grid, real customer reviews, and a contact form maybe at the bottom that can collect leads. And that already gives the business owner really something much more useful than just a plain mock-up or a cold sales pitch. So now let's build it out inside of Base 44. Go to app.base44.com and then open up the main prompt console in the center of the screen here. First, check again that the settings icon in the lower left side and make sure the model is set to Opus 4.8. Doing this, make sure that the build runs through Claude's latest reasoning model. And after that, let's click the plus icon at the bottom left corner of the prompt panel and then choose upload from the computer, then upload that logo and the notes that we collected earlier of the business. So those files give Claude the business details that it needs to create something that matches the company's actual brand. So now I'm going to enter the main website build prompt shown here on your screen. So this prompt basically tells Base 44 to create a premium one-page landing page for Austin Choice Roofing using the uploaded logo, the brand details, phone number, services, the testimonials, and the contact form. It also tells Claude to structure the page around the most important conversion sections. And that's a strong hero, a clear call button, a services grid, customer reviews, and a lead form connected to an internal incoming leads database. The important thing here is that this prompt is very specific without being random. It gives Claude the business name, the offer, the page structure, the visual direction, and the exact action that we want visitors to take. And that keeps the output focused and makes the sample site look like it was actually made for this specific business and not pulled from a generic template. So once the prompt is ready to go, click the arrow icon to submit it, and Base 44 will start compiling the roofing website based on the uploaded logo, the notes, and the instructions. And when the build finishes, as you can see, we'll open up the preview panel here and look through the result carefully. So let's check how the logo was used, how the colors were applied, how the hero section actually looks, and how the service cards are spaced out, along with how the testimonials appear and whether the form is set up properly. We also need to check the responsive view. So go to the top area of the preview panel here and switch between desktop, tablet, and mobile. Scroll through the page on each version and then make sure the text wraps properly, the buttons stay easy to tap, and that the sections stack cleanly on smaller screens. The sample only works as an outreach hook if it looks good on the business owner's phone, because again, that's probably where they're going to open up the link first. So once the page looks clean, we can then publish it and then go to the upper right corner of the Base 44 dashboard here and then click the publish button. And when the publishing modal opens, click Publish App. And Base 44 will then package the project and move it into live cloud hosting. After that, it'll generate a production URL. So copy that link using the clipboard icon here, paste it into, say, a scratch pad, and then open it up in a new browser tab to test it out yourself. This part matters here because the link is not just a preview inside the builder anymore. It is a real working site that the business owner can actually open up on their phone or their desktop. They can scroll through it, they can click around, they can test the layout, and they can see their business presented in a much better way. So that live link then becomes the main asset for your outreach message. You are not asking the owner to picture what a better website could look like. You are giving them something that they can actually open in their hands to review and react to right away. And once the sample site is published, then the message you send should be short, helpful, and low pressure. The live landing page should do most of the selling for you anyway, so there's no need to write a long pitch about your background, your design process, or your pricing. The whole point is really just to get the business owner to click that link and then see the upgraded version of their own site. And this works because local business owners really do care a lot about how their business looks online. And when they open up that live page with their real logo, their actual services, real reviews, and a cleaner layout, well, it immediately feels more personal than just a normal cold message. Because now they're not just reading a promise, they are seeing proof that you already took the time to improve something connected to their very own business. So the outreach message should only say be 3 or 4 lines. Keep it clear, casual, and easy to respond to. Don't use aggressive agency language or make the owner feel attacked. So for example, don't say something like, I'm a certified systems engineer and your current roofing website looks ancient, it clips on mobile viewports, and is actively losing you thousands of dollars in shingle replacement leads. Let's schedule a high-pressure 45-minute discovery Zoom call next Tuesday so that I can pitch you my core corporate upgrade bundle. A message like that just feels too critical, too formal, and too pushy. It makes the owner defensive before they even open the link. So instead, a better message would be something like, hey, owner name, I was looking at local roofers in Austin on Google Maps and I noticed your website wasn't fully optimized for mobile phones. So I took a few minutes to wire up a faster, modernized version of your landing page using your real logo and client reviews here. And then you would insert live base44 URL link. Check it out on your smartphone. Let me know if you like the layout, and I'm more than happy to hand the files over to you if you want to use it. And then that message works here because it sounds helpful rather than salesy. It points out the issue without insulting them. It shares the link right away, and it gives them a simple reason to check it on their phone. It also leaves the door open without forcing them into a call right away. If they don't respond after, say, 48 hours, then send one short follow-up. And the goal here is just to make sure that they saw the link, not to chase them aggressively. You can say something like, "Hey, owner name, I just wanted to make sure that web link opened up fine on your end. Let me know if you ever want to swap out any of the service text or imagery on there. And if they still don't reply then after that, then move on to the next qualified lead in your spreadsheet." Just don't keep following up over and over. The strength of this system really comes from having a clean pipeline, not from pushing one business owner until they finally respond. And since you are sending a real sample site instead of a generic pitch, the response rate can actually be much better than normal cold outreach. A realistic beginner target is around, say, 20 to 30%, especially if the sites are customized well enough and the businesses are properly qualified. So aim to send 10 to 15 targeted outreach messages each week, and that should give you enough volume to start getting at least 2 or 3 real discovery conversations without overwhelming your own self. So once a business owner replies with interest, then the goal is to shift from simply showing them a website sample to understanding what their business actually needs. And at this point, don't get too technical. They usually don't care about the code, the database structure, or how the cloud hosting works. What they really care about is whether the site can bring in leads and make their business look better and save them time. So if an owner replies with, say, something like, "Wow, this looks incredible. What does it cost to buy this page?" Don't immediately throw out a fixed price. A better response is to acknowledge that, yes, they like it, great. Then move the conversation towards a quick call so that you can better understand the full scope. You can say, "I'm thrilled you like the look of it. I put it together as a rough structural framework. Let's hop on a quick 10-minute phone call this week to see what specific features your business needs so that I can really give you an accurate, fair quote." So that short call is where you then figure out what they actually need, and then you keep the question simple and business focused. You can ask, say, "How are you currently capturing and tracking incoming customer leads?" And then you can ask, "What specific service is your highest margin offer that we should prioritize on the layout?" You can also ask, "Is your current web guy slow to respond when you need to update seasonal operational hours?" So these kinds of questions help you understand their problems without making the conversation feel overly technical. And when you present the sample site during the call, open the live public URL through screen share or ask them to open it up on their own phone, and make it clear that the page is a starting point, not the final version. You can say, "Think of this page as our structural foundation. It shows our speed and layout direction, but it is fully flexible. We can easily swap out imagery, build custom drop-down booking calendars, or add dedicated service subpages based on what we map out here today." Now, some business owners will have objections, of course, and that's normal. So if they say, "We simply don't have the marketing budget for a web redesign right now," do not argue with them. Just keep it practical and explain why this build can actually be more affordable than a traditional agency project. You can say, "You know what? I completely understand because I've already leveraged my advanced cloud environment to construct 80% of your core design and data logging layers. I can completely bypass traditional agency setup fees and really pass those massive savings directly to you." Now, another common objection is, "I already have a web developer who handles my hosting link." And then in that case, don't position yourself as someone trying to replace their current setup. Rather, focus on the landing page as a conversion layer that can work alongside what they already have. You can say something like, "That's fantastic. My goal isn't to replace your existing systems though. I just really wanted to focus entirely on creating a high-speed, mobile-optimized capture layer. And we can leave your main domain exactly where it is and run this landing page alongside it to track how many more phone calls it captures for your business. So for your first client, just keep the close simple. Offer an introductory first client setup price between $300 to $500. Make it clear that this is a heavy promotional discount for your first local partner. And in exchange, you would like a strong text and video testimonial once the full site is live. So doing things this way keeps the price easier for the business owner to accept. It gives you your first real case study, and it helps you build momentum for the next client. After the client agrees to move forward, then the sample landing page becomes the foundation for the final deliverable. You don't need to rebuild everything from scratch even. The better workflow is to really stay inside the same Base 44 project and then use focused follow-up prompts to add one feature at a time. And this keeps the build organized and makes each update easier to review after Claude compiles it. Now, the first feature we can add is a dynamic before and after project gallery. And for a roofing business, visual proof matters a lot because homeowners want to see real results before trusting someone with a major repair or replacement. So now let's go back to the main prompt input panel here and then enter the follow-up prompt shown right there on your screen. Now, this prompt asks Base 44 to create a recent transformations gallery under the testimonial section with 3 roofing project containers and an interactive before and after view for each one. The point is to let visitors compare damaged roofs against completed restorations, which instantly makes the business just look more credible. So after entering the prompt, let's click the execution arrow at the bottom right of the input panel here, and then just let Base 44 compile the new section. And then after a while, once it finishes, check the page again. Now the site has an interactive project showcase that helps visitors see the quality of the company's work, not just read about it. So for a local service business, that kind of visual evidence can also build trust very quickly. Now, the next feature is an automated storm damage FAQ section. Roofing customers usually have these same concerns, whether insurance covers the damage, how long the replacement will take, and what kind of warranty they get. So let's go back again to the main prompt panel and then enter the FAQ prompt shown right here on your screen. And this one asks Base 44 to add a responsive accordion section above the contact form using 3 important questions about storm damage coverage, shingle warranties, and standard roof replacement timelines. It also asks each question to expand smoothly when clicked while closing the other open tabs, so the section stays clean and easy to use. Let's click the execution arrow again and let the feature compile. And once it is added, the site now answers common customer questions without making the business owner have to handle every basic inquiry manually. It also helps reduce hesitation on the customer side because visitors can now get simple answers before filling out the form or calling the company. Now, the third feature here is an interactive emergency repair cost calculator. Homeowners dealing with active roof damage often want some kind of estimate before they reach out, especially during or after a storm. So let's go back to the prompt input again and enter the calculator prompt here shown on your screen. And this prompt asks Base 44 to add a calculator below the services grid, including a square footage slider, a damage severity dropdown, and a dynamic cost range that updates on the page. It also includes a strong lock in this estimate button that saves the visitor's information into the internal incoming leads database. So after submitting the prompt, we'll let Base 44 compile the calculator and then test it out here in the preview. Now, this kind of widget makes the site just feel more useful because now visitors can interact with it instead of just passively reading. It also helps filter serious prospects from casual visitors while capturing high-intent emergency repair leads directly for the business. Now, once all of the follow-up features are added and checked, let's publish the app again so that the live site includes the latest changes. So let's go to the upper right area of the Base 44 dashboard here and then click the Publish button. And when the modal opens up, click Publish App and Base 44 will update the live production version with the new gallery, the FAQ, the calculator, and any other changes that you might have made. After publishing, copy the live production URL and then send it off to the client in a clean handover message. After doing so, present it as a fully functional website this time that they can open and test on their phone or their desktop. Make sure they understand that this is not a rough mockup or a local preview. It is the live version of their site running as an independent production asset that they can actually use now. And this delivery process is one of the biggest advantages of using Claude inside of Base 44. A traditional agency might take, 4 to 6 weeks to build responsive layouts, connect database systems, handle hosting, and prepare a polished delivery. But here, the full site iteration can be completed in around 2 to 3 hours of focused design time, which makes same-week delivery very realistic. The handover should also make the client feel taken care of. Include the live public URL, a short explanation confirming that yes, their contact form saves submissions into a secure backend database table, and a clear note that future text edits, image swaps, or maintenance updates can also be handled through you. So then let's keep it simple and professional so that they really understand what they received and who to contact when they need changes. A fast, clean delivery also makes the retainer conversation a lot easier. So when a client sees a polished site go from sample concept to working live asset within days, now they're more likely to trust you with ongoing support. The delivery itself creates the opening for a monthly maintenance and protection plan because now they've already seen how quickly that you can improve their online presence. So after you deliver the full website, the next move is to turn the project into recurring monthly income. A website is not something a business owner should only think about once. It needs hosting and updates, monitoring, small text changes, image swaps, and general upkeep as the business changes. And that is why every finished website should end with a simple retainer offer. Now, for a local business client, a good starting point is a standard support and maintenance retainer between, say, $99 to $199 per month. You can explain that this covers stable cloud hosting, background security checks, 1 to 2 hours of small monthly content updates, and routine local search checks. Now, those updates could be simple things like, say, changing business hours, adding a seasonal discount, replacing a project photo, or updating service details. And the way that you present the retainer really matters here. Don't make it sound like a random monthly fee or a technical hosting charge. Rather, position it as ongoing support so the client knows they have someone handling the website for them whenever small changes come up. And you can say, for just $149 a month, I act as your dedicated offsite digital webmaster. Anytime you need a new project photo uploaded, a team member added, or text adjusted, you simply send me a direct text message and it gets executed within 24 hours, ensuring your business stays fully optimized while you focus on serving customers. And then if you do want to increase the value of the retainer, you can then add an AI-powered customer inquiry agent as a premium upsell. So go back into the Base 44 workspace and enter the chatbot prompt shown here on your screen. Now this prompt asks Claude to create a floating chatbot in the bottom right corner of their website. And it should answer common roofing questions about services, insurance, and warranties, while also qualifying serious visitors as leads. And when someone asks for an estimate or shows interest in a service, then the bot collects their name, their email, their phone number, and project details, and then saves that information into the incoming leads database. And after entering this prompt, let's go ahead and click the execution arrow at the bottom right of the input panel here again, and then we'll let Base 44 do its thing and compile the feature. And when the build finishes, let's test the chatbot directly on the site. Let's make sure the widget actually opens up properly, responds naturally, and answers basic roofing questions, that it collects lead details and gives visitors an easy way to close the chat or request manual contact. So at this point, the website is no longer just a landing page, and now has a floating front-end chat assistant connected to a Claude-powered conversational flow. It can answer customer questions, it can guide visitors through the next steps, And it can also capture lead information in the background. And that gives you a very strong reason to position it as a premium retainer tier between, say, $2.99 and $4.99 per month, because now the system is actively helping the business capture inquiries even when nobody is available to answer the phone. And the numbers can add up quickly. If you secure, say, 3 to 5 local business clients on monthly retainers, you can build a recurring baseline of around $500 to $1,500 or more per month. And that recurring income just helps cover your software costs and gives your freelance business more stability. So now you're no longer relying only on one-off projects and constant cold outreach. So now let's pull the whole process together, shall we? And the system is simple, but it only works when you follow the steps in the right order. And you start by finding local businesses that are active but clearly have weak websites or no proper website at all. And then you build a custom sample page for one of those businesses. You publish it as a real live link, and then you use that link as the main reason for your outreach. And that is why the sample site hook works so well for beginners, because normal cold outreach usually depends on long messages and promises from someone the business owner does not even know yet. But here you are with leading proof, and the owner can open up the link, they can see their own logo, their services, and their reviews, and immediately understand what you can do before you ever ask for their money. And Claude inside of Base 44 also makes the delivery very fast enough to be profitable even on your first client. Traditional web development can take, say, weeks because you have to deal with the layout work, the responsive design, the hosting, the databases, and the deployment. But inside Base 44, a lot of that setup is already handled for you. So a focused 2-hour build session can turn into a real client asset instead of just a practice project. After you land your first client, the next step is to turn that project into proof. Get a strong written testimonial, and if possible, a short video testimonial after the site goes live. And then add that proof to your outreach process so that future business owners can see that someone already trusted you and got a real pretty great result. And from there, keep expanding your spreadsheet and aim to land 1 or 2 new recurring clients every month. And to keep going now, head back to app.base44.com, open up a fresh project so that your workspace stays clean, and make sure the orange asterisk Claude icon is active before you start building. Map out the page structure first, even if it is just on a scratch pad, and then repeat the same client pipeline again. Find the business, build the sample, send the link, close the call, deliver the full site, and offer the retainer. And that is how this turns from a one-off build into a real web design business. All right, that is the play, and you've got it. Don't wait until you have a giant portfolio or a full agency set up. Just pick one business, build something useful, send that link, and then let the work speak for you before you ever get on a call. Again, if you want the full step-by-step system for building AI-powered websites, apps, and client offers, you got to grab my free masterclass link below. Thank you for watching and investing your time with me today. I'll see you at the next build.